All right, today I'm going to show you how to build your own silkscreen base. What you're going to need is a base, a board. And so this is from Home Depot. It was about $15 and some change. And what it is a exterior piece of plywood that's already been sanded. And it didn't have a lot of knots in it. I like that. And the fact that it's already sanded, has a nice smooth surface. It is a 23 by 32 2x4 plywood, and in your notes I'll send you the SKU number that it's ready to go. And what we need is for our screens, which is a 23 by 31, we want something that fits there and we can put some hinges on it and work from it all the whole time. So that's ready to go. Besides the piece of wood, you're also going to need a ruler. You'll also need some clamps. These are butterfly clamps. These are speedball butterfly clamps, but you can also go online and find them. They're anywhere between $12 to about $20 for a set of clamps. Need a screwdriver. If you're doing it by hand and don't have any power tools, what I'd suggest is through the little holes, tap in a little finishing nail, pull that out, and you can screw that in by hand with just a screwdriver and your own force. Today I'm also going to use a power drill just to get that done a lot sooner, and then we'll get on it. The nice thing about this board is at the end of it you can even spray it with a spray of polyurethane. Do a light sanding, you've just waterproofed your board, and so we'll talk about that afterwards as well. All right, so again, from Home Depot you can probably get something like this at Lowe's as well. This is a 3/4 thick 2x4, but the size that they had cut this as is 23 by 32. So what I've done is, there's enough board that you can put these hinges here, so I've measured out, you could probably put it on the edge if you needed to. I'm just measuring 6 inches out, and I've used a pencil and a ruler to mark my lines. And then from the outside edge, I moved it in about 3 inches. So I've made my marks here 3 inches. And so I can set up my hinges at that mark on the line, at that mark on the line. And I'm just going to take a Sharpie and mark my drill holes. You can use a pencil as well. All right, on the first set of hinges, I'm going to do it by hand. I have a thin finishing nail, and what I did was I tapped it into our starter holes and pulled it out so that at least we have something that will pilot these screws down. And so now I'm going to line that up and screw it in by hand. So if you don't have a drill, this is what you're going to do. It just requires a little extra work on the wood. All right, and the second one, same thing. And just tighten it up until it doesn't move. All right, with the power drill, we've taken the smallest bit that we have that is not thicker than the screws that we're going to be using today. We want it a little bit smaller so that we're not stripping it. And we're just going to drill a couple holes. And you don't have to go through the board. All right, the next step is we're going to line up our hinge and screw it in. All right, so next step, I've lined up the hinges, I've had the screws, and we're going to screw it down. You don't have to go all the way until you have both of them in place. All right, now they're set in place. All right, so we did one set by hand, and we did the other set with a power drill. And so that is ready to go.